Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea. Different type of opener today, as before we get into this game I would like to share the story of the Colossus range bug real fast. So on the 12th of July, during a scheduled maintenance, Blizzard accidentally added one range to the Colossi after thermal lens research. This was on the 12th of July. This got discovered I think on the 13th or the 14th by pretty much every pro player that has ever lived. And since then mods have been made for tournaments to make sure that it's being played without the Colossus bug. There was a mistake, some files got uploaded that shouldn't have. This has happened before, I think, with the Colossus thing as well, like 6 or 7 months ago. Back then it wasn't live, but it looked like it was live. Now it's also live on the ladder. It's live on basically every game you play. It's literally in the live game. There's a +1 range on the Colossus after thermal lens has been researched. So instead of 9 range, it has 10. GSL was played on the 20th of July, so 6 days after discovery and 8 days after it was put in. And the GSL had not fixed it with a mod, which meant that every game that was played in the GSL that had Colossus in it basically was playing with +1 range. And this particular series between herO and TY has the Colossus in it, so I thought, you know, might be fun to cast it, have a look at it. So yeah, enjoy the series. And here we go with game number 1, which will be played on altitude. herO here in the bottom left and TY in the top right. So we have herO opening over the cheeky little wall to make sure that Reapers cannot actually come in. I am curious how this wall is going to work though. I think you're going to need a third structure for it. I'm not super familiar with how he's currently walling. Wait, does he not know what the wall looks like? Does he think that the Reaper jump spot is over here? That's kind of what it looks like, no? It's kind of what it looks like. All right, well, we'll figure that out in a little bit from now, as we have a no scout coming out of herO. We don't have a scout yet coming out of TY either, but that's a lot more common for Terran players to not scout, as they're relatively safe. They have that quick wall. There's nothing really TOS can do in the early game that's too scary. And yet we have a... Actually, this is a really early scout across the map. Holy crap. That is really fast. That is actually really fast. I'm not going to lie about that. Okay, Marine as the first unit as well. We have this... wow, no. Marine gets cancelled and it's going to be a reactor first instead. Zealot had started on the side of herO, but we'll cancel it. Started Nexus instead. Nexus into Pylon here. Reactor first. This is something you don't see a whole lot in this matchup. This could indicate a lot of things. So I think a lot of the times when we see a reactor first, it can be 1 out of 3 things. It can be, yeah. So number 1 would be a 3-Rex with slightly more Marines than you usually see because you have a faster reactor, right? So you get more Marines a little bit quicker. That's nice. That's number 1. Number 2, it is a follow-up into some type of timing push with tanks. Okay, it's going to be a factory with some type of tank. So we'll see like a 1-1-1 setup and then a Marine move out with a Cyclone, a tank, or like just a tank is also possible. Maybe a medevac with it, or a Liberator, or a Viking, depending on what tech the Protoss will end up going for. There's a couple of options there. And then the final one is that sometimes we see reactor first with triple CC openers. Now, this is not a triple CC. This is not a triple barracks. Knowing TY, and I know him a little bit, I've heard of the guy before, I think this is going to be some type of 1-1-1 timing attack. So we're going to be seeing a move out with 8, 10, 12, 14 Marines, more between 10 and 14 Marines, I think, is what we will be seeing. This should be a straight tech lab. Maybe wants to build a Hellion first, but no, it's going to be a straight tech lab. Yeah, this pretty much confirms what I was thinking already. Hallucination is going to go in for a scout here. Does get a lot of information. So the moment you see this with your hallucination, and if you know how to count, I'm going to assume for a second here that herO knows how to count. Okay, just assuming for a second that herO has the ability to count. It's like, wait a second, this is real interesting. That is a tech lab before any factory units. I see 8 Marines, which means this was a reactor first, based on the timing and how many Marines you see right now. This most likely is going to be a push. Okay, like he should be capable of making that read and responding to it. And as a result, we see an Immortal. This is not a normal response, or this is not a normal build order. You never see this. We see a second sentry being warped in. We see a third gateway being built. The battery is already done. I think that herO is very, very aware right now of what TY is doing. Very aware of what TY is doing. There's going to be a mine as a follow-up, which is extremely odd and something I really never see. Is the plan here to move that? What is the plan for the mine? I don't know. Is it going to stay at home? I have no clue what this mine is going to do. I guess he doesn't want to waste any factory time. That is the play here, or... Anyway, we have this move out. This seems to be 10 Marines to me, so the 10 Marine call was correct there. Tank, as well as one more Marine actually in here, and an SCV joining too. So he moves over right now to go and get a kill. A cheeky little kill here on this cybernetics core, perhaps on the gateway, but here comes herO from the side. TY not aware of that, and I mean, who expects this many units to pop in? Main base now a little bit exposed though, as 8 Marines will try to get the drop in, but a recall will prevent that. Both the buildings for herO will survive. Takes out a tank. An absolutely phenomenal start here for the Protoss player, while we see TY struggling. Late barracks, still has a Liberator that is being sent out, but I don't really see this Liberator dealing any damage whatsoever. At least it shouldn't do any damage whatsoever. Medevac in a bit of trouble here. Taking quite some damage. Couple of shots away from dying here with those 7 Marines still inside. That would be a pity. Prism starts for herO. He wants to go maybe for a bit of a counter drop. 4 Stalkers is quite popular. Maybe we see, I don't know, like 3 Stalkers and an Adept, 2 Stalkers and an Immortal. There's many combinations of units that you could technically put in there. Liberator shows up, but herO is already in position and this shouldn't be an issue. Right now he's looking at the wrong side of things though. Sees Macron now hears the noise. And will take it out. 4 workers lost. TY could have targeted, I think, two more workers down had he been paying attention. That does even things up just a tiny tad here, as well, Stim is just so late. Combat is going to be so late. Standard timing for Stim is around 6:30. Here it's going to be severely delayed. It's going to be 7:10 finishing. Combat shield hasn't even started yet. So yeah, this is a very mediocre start here for TY when it comes to the timing of his Stim, the timing of his combat. When it comes to the economy, this has been a mediocre start for herO. herO does not have a lot of cash. Right now, he's desperately trying to add in some gateways, but his infrastructure is complete balls. He's transitioning into a Templar Archives, which makes sense given his high gas count. So we see Storm and a double Templar in the Prism as well. I think the main goal here for herO is to go for some type of counterattack here with the Prism. Hit 2 Storms on a bunch of SCVs, force an all-in out of your opponent, and then defend with 2-3 Templar at home. I think this is a very solid, well, I'm not sure if it's a very solid plan, but I think the plan here is, the plan at least is sound. I'm not sure if solid is really the word that I want to use, because when you're defending with Storm, you're always a little bit reliant on the Terran, especially if Storm doesn't come out of a Prism, on the Terran kind of messing up, not pre-scanning, not having good pre-splits. Now this Observer might get taken out here, it might also just escape, and that's indeed going to be the case here. Medevac with Mines makes its way across the map as this probe over here. I have no clue why it's here, but it's going to spot this Medevac, and that is a pretty big deal. We'll see how herO responds to it, as he also sees an army moving out at the same time. Does need to respond to that threat of the Medevac though. Medevac is going to pass by another pilot in case herO missed the first thing here. Storm has finished up. Here comes the drop. That's a 1, that's a 2, that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 worker kills. Archon gets morphed immediately as well. A move that definitely had some risk. It carried some risk, but now that risk is going to pay off as 2 more workers will fall. That was a massive clump up. Had herO been paying attention there, there could have been a lot more workers going down all at once. 13 workers have fallen right now as herO with a lot of damage, but at the same time Mines dealing a lot of damage. I wasn't paying attention and neither was herO. 15 probes going down. These are burrowed mines with the red dot on top of them, which means they require detection to be dealt with. Now, double drop heading in towards the main base simultaneously as well. Storm's helping out to deal with it. Lots of workers have gone down on the side of herO though. Third base now done for TY. Should start tech labs and reactors on here. Has started a 2-1 upgrade. Is perhaps a bit too deep with this army. I'm surprised to see a double eBay pre-Ghost Academy after seeing that there are Templar, that this is mainly a Templar-based army. Seeing there's no gas here at all on the third base, I am not quite sure why we're not seeing an Academy yet. This is such a Ghost Academy-ish game. Like, you look at this game and you think to yourself, the one thing this game needs right now for the Terran is a Ghost Academy. I think TY was really late with that response. Like, way, way too late. The first Ghost should already be out on the way right now. I'm not quite sure why that isn't the case. Mines here are burrowing as we're trying to engage in a base trade here. Ghost Academy gets cancelled, needs to be rebuilt on the high ground practically immediately in my mind. If you get Ghost out against this army, you can be down quite a bit supply and still have a good time. There are 4 Immortals, which is a lot of damage output. Observer is going to show up as well right now, will help with clearing these mines. Tank will fall as the main base has now been officially breached. Is there no medevacs with this army? Okay, now there are 2 medevacs with this army. So we see a big stim in towards the main base, trying to take out these pylons so that reinforcements will not be possible. But I'm afraid that the army on the side of herO is already kind of big here. It is quite powerful, and without Ghost, fighting Archon Immortal without Ghost, that is something that I would want to see Tom Cruise do. That could make one hell of a movie. It does sound like Mission Impossible to me. +2 might finish, which would be a very big deal. If these upgrades finish, I'm not saying maybe, but I'm saying perhaps. Nah, actually. It seems very unlikely here that TY will walk away with a win. Very, very unlikely that TY will walk away with a win. And the reason why I'm saying that is because there's Storm in the Prism still, and that is very, very powerful. These medevacs are extremely empty already. A recall on the... Wait, where? Where's the third base? Could actually A-move with these probes. Maybe actually get some kills. Oh, never mind. Pisses off for now. Has a Nexus up top already. Has anything made it out for TY? No, he's rebuilding a CC though, and there's still a mine over here. Armory has never been taken out, which means this mine will remain burrowed and invisible. But I do believe that TY is in a world of trouble right now. Stalker's moving forward. There's that prison with those 3 Templar. Apparently the game was bugged and had to be recovered from replay. Here comes the prism. Here comes the prism. Flies into a mine. No, it won't. Blink? No, no blink. Hello? He's just losing Stalkers for fun. Seems to be the case. Mines will get taken out, and this is how afraid TY is of everything. I mean, there's still a massive army over here. There's really no point in trying almost at this point, I would say. 4 Immortals by themselves are very difficult to deal with, but there's Storms, there's Archon backup. We still have these Stalkers coming back home as well. Like, there's just simply too much. Storm to deal with the Marines, and Immortals to deal, well, with the Marines and the Marauders. Of course, mainly with the Marauders, as they have that bonus damage against them. Single Storm is going to hit. Probes being pulled off the line, walking through storms. Not the ideal way of playing this, and this, my dear friends, is going to be the GG over here, I can only imagine. I mean, this is extremely over. There's a base versus... Well, I guess there's a base here as well, technically, but it has already been spotted. I'm not quite sure why we're in the game. It is 8 Marines, 1 Marauder against an actually massive army still. You could split this army in four parts and still beat this army every single time. Yep, there we go. Now GG will definitely be called as the SCVs make an attempt for the life of the Nexus. And herO takes game number 1 in this best of 3. Kind of an odd game, that first one, in my mind. It felt like herO went for the perfect blind counter, or at least what he thought was the perfect blind counter to his opponent's build. Well, not really a blind counter, it was a soft counter. A scouted counter. A hard counter? Hard counter, I guess. Blind counter is if you do it blindly. Hard counter is if you basically blind counter someone with scouting. So herO had full information. I think having the herO as an initial tech structure is real nice. And it didn't feel super dicey, but a little bit scary for a second there. It really did get a bit scary for a second there. Mines hitting the third base, hitting the natural. If there was a mine in the main, I think that could have done some serious damage. Makes it so much harder to clean up as well. The double drop that went in towards the main base. Definitely all contributing. Now we have barracks over here. Pompidom. Very standard stuff. Quick scout again. It's kind of odd to see that, honestly. Like, no offense to TY, but herO is significantly better, so... I feel like scouting every single game is really funny because herO just isn't scouting any of these games. Like, herO is playing like he's the worst player, and TY is playing like he's the better player. I've seen these guys' ladder ratings, and I'm not sure. I know that when it comes to TY, we shouldn't pay too much attention to the ladder rating, but the ladder rating often is a good indicator of what the base skill level is. And I think TY, when I last checked, was 5.9k MMR. That is, for a pro gamer, that is really crazy low. even on Korea. Like, that is... It was wild when he built Classic. I had never expected that. Now, TY has always been like that, though. I think he became the world champion when he was 6.3k MMR. I'm not quite sure if he just doesn't try at all on ladder, but then why would you play ladder? Like, if you're not gonna try. He just seems to be a phenomenal tournament player. Like, the skill level that he has in tournaments is so extremely high, where most people's skill level goes down when they play tournaments. It feels like his skill level actually goes up significantly. Which is very odd, because he's very good, but he does seem to be lacking in some regards. So seeing him perform this well in this tournament has already been a surprise to me. It really has been. You could say, yes, he has that tournament experience, but even when he didn't have it, well, I guess he's been playing since he was like 12 or something, so he's always had that tournament experience. You know, ever since he turned like 16, he's been playing for like 4 years. Guy's mental. All right, Blink as a start here for the herO. Second gate going down pretty quickly as well. Interesting setup. I don't really like it. Weak against Hellions. herO is going to be scouting for any potential proxy starport. He's going to find this one. But you can see through the smoke. What? How did he just hit it through the smoke? Nice. Neato. Very neat indeed. Second gas now going down. This is going to be a 4-car attack. Medevac heading in towards... I actually think that he changed plans here. He said, hey, you scouted my starport. I bet you're going to leave units in the main base. And herO indeed is leaving units in the main base. He's also leaving some in the natural, but definitely some in the main base too. That actually could be an issue here, as these 4 cars are now moving in. We get quite some damage. 5 kills. Get a double pickup, 6 kills. Can we get more? Yeah, we can, I think. If he micros this correctly, oh, he loses 1 Hellion there. I think that would have been another big shot otherwise, perhaps. Hellion trying to micro away. It's not the cleanest control, but in my mind, clean enough. 7 kills is good. 2 SCVs being rallied across the map. That is a pretty big mistake, honestly. The macro behind this also was... a little bit debatable, in my mind, at least. I saw quite some floating during all of it. I think a lot of the time, this feels more of a CC that was built because there was a lot of money, not a CC that was built because you really wanted to play triple CC. Like, once you float 500 minerals, it's like, well, might as well build a CC rather than go for a fast barracks. And that's kind of what it felt like to me. But I could be wrong. Second tank is about to pop out. First tank is not in position yet. Way more damage here is being taken than truly necessary. These 4 stalkers have now blinked in and dealt some severe damage. And 2 of those SCV kills are the ones that just got rallied across the map. These 2 adepts accidentally finish up. Sloppy play here coming out of herO. Will take out 1 Marine, but loses 2 units. 38 workers to 37. We now have a Viking being sent across the map. I like this play so much. This is such a smart move here. I truly do enjoy that. Now, this starport is still going to get spotted and as a result might be in a little bit of trouble. This also, I think, alerts you as heroes, like, hey, why was that starport still going? Do I need to warp something in at home? Let's take a look at the first person here out of herO. He sees the unit at home, will instantly recall. Loses two extra workers to a Viking. But this Viking won so much freaking time for TY's defense. TY is on triple CC, has 3 barracks on the way. Now, I said I didn't really like his macro during it, and that is still true. But I also believe that he's insanely far ahead at this point. It isn't quite represented yet here in everything. Once again, he's floating a decent amount of cash. Could have definitely added, I think, barracks 4 and 5 a little bit faster. The starport probably could have been built a bit quicker because this one here is most likely never coming home. Well, is never coming home, period. So some critical points here. You know, I think TY could have done better, but he's infinitely far ahead. herO doesn't have a 3rd base, okay? He's doing all of this on 2 bases. Doesn't have insane infrastructure either on 2 bases. Now, I think herO is pretty much forced into, I don't want to say an all-in, but this is really all-in. Like, he needs to kill 8, 9, 10, 12 workers. Actually, yeah. I think he needs to kill 12 workers and not lose any stalkers. And then we're about then it's a playable position. Like, this is how bad it's looking right now for herO. herO with some blunders here, losing 2 Stalkers for free. He was looking at that as well. It's just gonna blink out. TY with a solid defense. Beautiful SimCity here, by the way. One of the few Terrans that has been doing it correctly as of late. Do love that. Turret up here helping out as well against potential storm drops. And now take a look at the supply, because it's going to start heavily leaning in favor of TY in the next minute and a half. His production is now all set up. He's floating over his 3rd CC. herO still needs to invest in quite a few structures. We need to get 3 more gateways. His income already isn't so great. We're gonna be triple muling like a madman here as TY. Absolutely crazy. Ooh. A little bit far back, that tank. Still barely in range of these Stalkers, it feels like. Well, actually, Stalkers can hit. I think one tank needs to move just a little bit further forward. Stim is about to finish up. I would almost... I know it's a risky move, but you would almost just want him to send like a drop towards the left side or something, towards the top side, to try and just snipe some more workers, you know? Once you're this far ahead, it feels like you can take some risk if you see this many Stalkers on your side of the map. Then again, that's also a quick way to fall behind once more. Is there a forge here for herO? There's no forge. He's gone up to 8 gateways. Does he have storm? He has storm. And he has a prism. I mean, this just feels insanely all-in out of herO. No upgrades behind this. There is a forge coming up now. Worker count, he is down. We have a ghost academy being constructed in the wall. Oh boy. This ain't looking good. This ain't looking good for herO right now. This defensive setup is too strong. Combat shield not done yet, though, and that means that storm could be very impactful. Double lip sieging up as we speak. Here comes the prism. All you need to do is just move back with those marines, because there is a turret there. Prism gets taken out. Look at the supplies here. 130 to 88. This is a freaking disaster here. This is an absolute disaster. 4CC goes down immediately. And I would just love to see a push coming out the moment combat, the moment 1-1 finishes. Because TY is so far ahead. He is up freaking 40 supply right now. And he has Liberators for sieging. He has tanks for sieging. Attacking into a sieged up position. With this type of army that herO has, with the supply that herO has, is going to be close to impossible. The way that TY probably wants to be setting this up, and how he will most likely set this up, is sending a drop towards the left side or a drop towards the top. While the Protoss is busy dealing with that drop, you start moving out with all your siege units. Wait, he goes into a 5th base? What? Huh? Okay, sorry, a different type of setup here that he's going for. So... this is really hard to understand, I think, this decision. Except if you know that StarCraft is a game of incomplete information. And I think TY is completely misreading this game right now. He thinks he's behind. I think he thinks he's really far behind. Because otherwise there's no way this is how you respond. So he's adding 3 barracks and a factory after a 5th CC. So he believes he can hold 4 CC pretty easily, 5 CC pretty easily, and then just plays a macro game from behind. That's his plan here, not knowing that he's really far ahead. I think he could have pushed. If he would have prepared for a push at any point, I think he would have straight up won the game here. That is actually a pretty significant blunder. That is a... well, yeah. I'm not sure if you could call it a blunder or just a lack of information, but not having that info is really bad. He sees how small this army is as well, right? It's like, holy crap, you literally have nothing, dude. This is still very marine heavy, which sucks. But there's also 5 tanks and 4 ghosts, which is a pretty big deal. And this is just giving herO the opportunity to do things. Now, Thermal Lens is about to finish up, and we can't see it on this particular overlay. But Thermal Lens, GSL did not fix the bug. So Thermal Lens will give +3 here. That means 1 more range than what it usually gives. Usually it gives you 9 range. Now it will give you 10 range. So that's a bonus here for herO that he gets for free from the GSL. Like, ding, 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 ding. Congratulations, we have a winner. And this is a pretty significant bonus that you have here as well. It's a pretty significant bonus. Now, TY is still in a very playable position. I think he might just be setting up for either a late game or a 2-2 timing. I'd be really surprised if he doesn't go for any timing whatsoever. Yeah. A little bit of a ghost EMP here. TY is just so passive. Getting the vehicle weapons +1, 2 more command center. So he believes in the late game he's fine. I mean, he took out Classic in an epic late game as well in the previous GSL group. Double drop, actually triple drop heading out. Now this is the perfect opportunity to push out. If I've ever seen an opportunity in my life to push out, this is it. If he doesn't push out now, I don't think he's planning on pushing out for the rest of the game. He's just going to be sitting here doing nothing. That's going to be the plan then. But did he just EMP his own mineral line? He also EMP'd these Templar, but also definitely EMP'd the mineral line. Wait, what was the plan of these Templar? There's no vision on the high ground. Was there an observer there that I missed? Might have been. My apologies if I missed that. If that's what he EMP'd and then killed, then that's on me. 3 obses have gone down. Now I have a double Liberator harass being set up here, seeing this 6 space that is being constructed. Double drop still heading towards the left side. Trying to get into this... I think it was the 4th base. We now have a minor push out. This is a kind of like rolling out of bed though. You know, and then starting the coffee machine from your bed. This is not a real push out killing this base. Oh. Okay, now he's going for a coffee at Starbucks. He's moving out on the map. He wants something. Maybe a little muffin with it. Blueberry, yeah. Why not? Here comes TY. Lots of tanks here. +1 vehicle weapons done. Upgrades superior in general. There's 7 medevacs out on the map, and only 2 of them are with this push. That is a blunder. That is a pretty sizable error here. Uh-oh. Overstimmed army. Colossi with the 10 range from a distance, just tickling these units away. Shooting those marauders. This is a damaged army. This is a very damaged army. EMPs are connecting though with all of this army. Oh, yo. There's still a lot of tanks in the back as well. Disruptor's not quite getting the connections, but doesn't seem necessary. As the Colossi from the backfield here putting in quite some work. 2 kills and 4 kills. Of course, it doesn't represent necessarily the damage. I'm not sure how impactful it was in that fight. It's so hard to say how impactful it was. But at 1 range, you know, it's never a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. Don't mind if I get that. Don't mind if I pick it up. +3 here on the way for the infantry weapons. +3 on the way for infantry armor as well. But herO right now back in control of this game. We're all back in control. He is in control for the first time in this game. And that's the position that he likes to be in. And after seeing TY basically throw out a lead as big as the one he had in this particular game, this particular map, I'm afraid to see how he's going to navigate a position in which he is behind, in which herO is the one with the control, which herO is the puppet master and TY just merely the puppet. And not one of the cool puppets like Pinocchio, like one of the lame ones that doesn't talk and doesn't have a growing nose. Disruptor flank coming in from the left side, not quite sure what that's going to be capable of doing. Maybe just sacrificing his life for Here's another planetary gets taken out. Purification of us hitting with connecting with a lot of this army. Keeping an eye on those Colossi as well. 10 kills and 3 kills right now. Just making sure nothing too weird happens. I think a lot of those are probably SCV kills, because we saw quite a few workers going down here. Fleet beacon, Stargate, +1 air weapons on the way here for herO as he pushes in once more. Disruptors connecting with tanks from a distance. herO still needs to be careful. He actually has less army supply, and if there's a couple of EMPs and his army gets jumped by high marauder count, that could still be kind of scary. Immortal count is low. Zealots could melt pretty quickly as well. But yeah, always gotta be careful. There's a random planetary here. I love that. I freaking love this so much. I don't know why, but I think that is so cool. There's just something beautiful about randomly placed planetaries, as the disruptors are going to connect. This 6 bases, however, is going to fall at the same time as well. herO's bank is actually not that large, and the army supply is still in favor of TY by quite a bit. Here comes a recall. Are you mad, herO? Are you mad? Colossi are going to be taken out here. There was no EMPs with this army, but if even a single EMP was here, this would have been a complete sweep, this fight. If tanks had been sieged up in the back, This fight would have been game-ending in favor of TY, I think. Now it still is a very, very good fight, but it's not the end of the world. Yes, you lose a base, but income still heavily favoring herO. herO still has a playable army. This Disruptor trying to get something. We'll get the pickup, we'll get the pickup. We'll not get the pickup. Zealot's now moving into this. That doesn't seem like the brightest play. As TY will temporarily just move back. Is there speed on this Observer? Yes, there is. The CC is being rebuilt. Thought we had some leftover command centers, some orbitals floating around, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Oh yeah, I guess we have one over here. Quite decent income now for TY, as herO starting to maneuver himself into a scary position to be in for him, honestly. Can't really go in towards this area, because there you're locked in. And once you're locked in, I don't think TY will let you leave. 9 tanks are out total. 11 has 2 more finish during my sentence. Now, this Zealot run-by is going to be a banger. Or, well, it's going to be a banger for the tanks, I think. They're going to be having a great time here. Nice little scan. I think TY saw this through the sensor tower. He knows there's units there right now, so tanks need to start moving in position. A couple of Ghosts move towards the right side here. As EMP needs to hit, EMP needs to connect. Ghost actually being taken out here. As a couple of tanks will end up falling as well. Not the worst trade for herO. Also not the greatest trade for herO. So he's going to end up losing maybe a couple more units. We get a scan out of TY towards the left side. Sees that there's a base over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think he can count. He's only on 5. I think this is going to trigger something in him. Yep, there we go. Starts moving out on the maps. Like if you have 7 bases, or at least I'm aware of 6, but you can pretty much guess that this base is going to be taken as well. You're going to need to start doing something. Now, this is all in vision of herO, as this Observer is here. Double Purification Nova is going to connect with absolutely nothing, it seems like. Killed like half a Marine there. Four Zealots in a prism. Not quite sure what they're doing. Look at herO's army supply. It's actually really low. 75 to 118. This is a really scary push. It honestly is. There's a lot of cash for herO, but his army is really just 6 Disruptors. Oh, nice pick off. Good control here. TY with the moves. The moves like Jagger. Ooh. This army's getting cut off as well. I think TY is actually kind of doing it here. So base trade has been initiated by herO. I'm not sure if TY will accept it. I don't think he should in a way. No, he's just gonna stim everything back. I think stimming everything back might be much. herO's winning so much time with this, and he's allowing himself to rebuild a bunch of his Disruptors as well. Now, these tanks are still in awkward positions as more Disruptors are just kind of rallying into the army. Very sloppy game out of herO. Will not get a lot of kills with this attack, but will win himself an absolute crap ton of time. And time right now is the most important resource that herO has. Absolutely the most important resource. That he needs to, he needs more time. The more time he gets, the better. He's mining 3k against 1500. Every minute is a good minute. Tempest are being built as well to try and break this kind of tank contain. Here comes herO from the side. It's going to throw 2 Disruptor balls on this one tank. That's going to be a hit. Very nice. Now this Observer is in range. Could be taken out by the Ghost. Yep, there we go. Medivacs now dropping on the low ground. As 2 tanks also are dropping on the low ground. There's still 1 Purification Nova available. That means this tank could die, but it's not going to happen. Tempest are really going to change these interactions, though. We once again have a Prism in the main base. This time TY can't go back, but he wants to, but he really, really can't. And perhaps even the first time was a mistake. I also thought it was the correct call to go back home, but maybe TY and I were both wrong. Is it possible? Yes, it is. herO playing one hell of a game here with the Tempest. I think pretty much sealing the defensive deal here. This army needs to be recalled out because that's a lot of supply there. A couple of units will be left behind and end up dying, but that's still about, what is it, like 24, 25, maybe like 30 supply that you actually end up saving, which is huge. Tempest Disruptor defending one flank. Stalker Zealot can attack the other flank. We now have Infernal Pre-Igniter being researched, so maybe a misclick or maybe Hellbats is going to be something. Nah, I don't really see Hellbats as a useful thing here. Mine starting to burrow. Has the armory been taken out? Yep, these mines will not be invisible for much longer as herO is ready to take the win here and advance on into the next match of the GSL. Throws a couple of disruptor shots here. Puff, puff, puff. Tank, tank. Orbital Command's going to get taken out, and TUI in a world of trouble. Poof. Miss, miss. It's not gonna matter though. Tempest are here, Zealots are here. There's simply way too much of herO and way too little of TY. Mining is 3,200 to actually 3k right now for TY. He's mining a lot of mules, I guess. Yeah. Muling a decent chunk here. This should be completely over. Purification Nova is going to connect. Mines trying to be dropped on top of this army. Will not quite end up work. Well, actually, Tempest have fallen by quite a bit, but 170 supply to 90. TY leaves the game and herO wins 2-0. Now, I don't think the bug contributed a whole lot over there, but I still think it's a little bit weird that it wasn't hotfixed or that there wasn't a mod that GSL created. I hope that other tournaments fix this, because it's lame if tournaments get decided by something that absolutely should not be in the game. All right, that's going to be it for me today. I hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new one. Ciao, ciao.